Hey everybody, it's Cindy Baker and it's another episode of Monday Night Live. Although it's not live, this is recorded. I am doing Q&A question and answering questions that you guys have asked about ADHD. So I'm going to do this at least once a month. And so if you do have questions, please let me know. You can actually put your questions in the comments of this video, and I might answer your question next time. So if you are watching this, please say hi in the chat and let me know where you're watching from. And if you're watching the replay after Monday night, then just say replay. So anyway, I just wanted to dive right in. One of the questions, and I got to look at my list here. Who is at greater risk for developing ADHD? Okay, so the risk factors medically, male, gender, and if there's a family history of a condition of ADHD, those are risk factors for developing. And they're not sure, but there's other risk factors that could be low birth weight and low parental or paternal education. I don't know. That sounds environmental to me, but that's what I found when I researched the answer to that question. So the next question is, what behaviors and problems are common with adults with ADHD? Great question, because a lot of times we just think of it in terms of kids, right? But it is sort of a lifelong deal. So adults with ADHD have a history of poor educational performance. Even if they made good grades, maybe they were constantly waiting until the last minute to turn in papers, things like that. Difficulty concentrating, relationship problems are common in adults with ADHD. There's a lot more we could say about that, but the symptoms of ADHD in adults are that they have trouble remembering information, especially short-term memory, difficulty following directions, organization, concentration, focus, have trouble adhering to time limits. They tend to see time in a different way than other people, and so that causes all kinds of problems with time management. And if those symptoms are poorly controlled, they can lead to a lot of negative issues, things like relationship difficulties, poor work performance, social problems, maybe even lower socioeconomic status, job problems, education problems. But the good news is it can be treated. So that's only if it's not managed. Okay. Another question, can adults have hyperactivity with ADHD? Yes, although it does manifest differently in adults than it does in children. We typically think of the stereotype of the little boy that's bouncing off the walls and spreading paint all over the room, or in kindergarten or something like that. But it manifests differently with adults. It could be fidgeting, jumpiness, nervousness, excessive movement, jiggling the leg, getting up constantly. Those are all symptoms of hyperactivity in adults. But it's also been associated with some other symptoms that you wouldn't think of as hyperactivity. Because of social things, we've learned to rein in the physical hyperactivity. So sometimes if they have trouble concentrating, excessive talking, someone who just is a motor mouth, trouble staying focused on a task. So hyperactivity it's a hallmark of a symptom of ADHD. It just looks a little different for adults. Okay, next question. What are the different types of ADHD? That's a great question, because, it used to be ADD and then ADHD, and the H stood for hyperactivity. Now, the medical classification, everything is ADHD. And doctors classify it into three main types. The three types, there's predominantly inattentive. That's what used to be ADD. There's predominantly hyperactive impulsive. They kind of go together. And then there's the combined type, when you've got the symptoms of inattention and hyperactivity. And they're all three common. I don't know that there's one that's more prevalent than the other. So those are the three types. And that's what those letters stand for. Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. I hate the word disorder, but that's what it stands for. All right. Another question. What are some ways ADHD affects adults? Well, we've talked about some of that already. The time management things, they've got procrastination is a big one. There's a low frustration tolerance, and they get irritable easily, not patient. Chronic boredom, they get bored way more easily than other people in the same situation. Those are commonly seen in adults with ADHD. And the behaviors and emotions of things like that low tolerance for frustration and the boredom and the procrastination, those can all be related directly to the diagnosis of ADHD, or, they could be a result of difficulties adjusting because of the ADHD. So it's partly because of ADHD and the way the brain is wired, but also environment. And they kind of play off of each other. And those symptoms can be mild or severe, and they vary with the situation. So a person might be, they might procrastinate at work, but not at home, or vice versa. Let's see, other things kind of that goes along with procrastination. They're late a lot, forgetfulness, trouble concentrating, difficulty with anger management, impulsiveness, they're rushed a lot, tend to have a lot of clutter, have low self-esteem, mood swings, poor organizational skills, and as I said before, relationship problems. Sometimes they're very sensitive to criticism, or even criticism that they just assume a person's thinking. So all that sounds negative. However, all of that can be turned around for the person to be extremely successful, especially if they get help. Okay, next question. What is hyperfocus? Hyperfocus is the practice of just focusing intensely on one thing or one event, especially something that you're very interested in, to the extent that you tune out everything else. You can't focus on other things that you need to be doing. Just so engrossed in something. And that's a symptom in children and adults with ADHD. And that actually can be used for good if you can learn to channel it in the right way, especially on the job. It can be extremely productive. Okay. Last question. Why would someone need an ADHD coach? What does a coach do? I get this question a lot. Like, what is coaching anyway? Really, no matter how well our life is going, we all get stuck sometimes, right? And we procrastinate on important things, and we don't take action on things that we know we could or should, right? And we know what we need to do. It's not knowing what to do a lot of times. It's just that it seems like it's too much trouble, or we don't have the time or the energy. And it could be, even though we know that taking that action is going to make our life easier or better in the long run, we still just have trouble with that. Coaching is, it's not therapy. It's coaching assumes that you want control over your life, and that you're creative and resourceful, and that your life has purpose. You're going somewhere. But coaching is for people who just want someone who understands and understands their challenges, they get them, and they can help them get unstuck. A good coach can hear the emotion that's behind that stuck state and can help them accept it and face the emotion so that they can get unstuck and move forward. Because that's a lot of what it is, just that lack of momentum. And they can help you set achievable goals and develop a plan to break down that goal into manageable steps so you can get the job done, and they hold you accountable and help you overcome obstacles. So you might want to hire a coach to reach goals like get past being stuck, get focused and clear when your plan's not working, have somebody hold you accountable when you're not getting things done, help you keep you motivated and keep you taking action along the way when it gets difficult, because it does, right? So basically, an ADHD coach, a good one, helps you realize your goals and your dreams. Last week we did the Chaos to Control challenge here in this Facebook group, and I introduced my coaching program called the 3P Power Program. And so the cool thing about that is that there are so many different levels of support, including a group of other like-minded people who also get it and have overcome different things maybe that you're struggling with. And so it's a cool program because you get one-on-one counseling with me, or coaching, excuse me, but you also get a group Zoom call every week, and you get training every week on things like time management, clutter, mindset, how to make decisions, how to be productive, how to get organized. Super, super practical. And it's not just strategy, it's a support and the structure that you need. You get a workbook, you get access to a membership site, you have a VIP Facebook group where you can interact with others. You have access to me in between everything through email and direct message on Facebook. So it is an awesome program. It's called the 3P Power Program: positive, prepared, productive. So if that's something that you would like to know more about, if you would just put in the chat Zoom call with Cindy or something like that, I will send you a link to my calendar. We'll hook something up, and basically I'll find out a little bit more about what your ADHD struggles are, what your goals are, and see if I can help you. If we decide not to work together, I still would hope you'd get some tips from the call that would be of value to you. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great night. Have a good week. And if you have any questions you want me to answer on these type of forums, put them in the chat. If you want to meet with me to find out more about coaching, put it in the chat. And I love you all. I'll see you later. Bye.